David Menzies for Rebel News here in Tiny Township, Ontario. And you know, folks, you never know who you'll bump into at a protest in Tiny. And I'm with Lawrence Solomon. He is a columnist for the Financial Post. He's also a resident of Tiny. And the main reason we're here is about the opposition to this new city facility going up. People say it's unwanted, it's not needed, it's going to cost something like $50 million once you add in all the interest costs. Lawrence, in April of this year, penned an absolutely fascinating piece about what Lawrence called the return to serfdom in Tiny Township. I'll just read you the lead. Quote, under a new bylaw scheduled to pass next month in Tiny, Ontario, a rural township on the shores of Georgian Bay, thousands of property owners will lose their right to do anything to their property apart from activities such as garden weeding, raking, and minor trimmings of vegetation. Without township permission, residents will be barred from installing a bird feeder, planting trees, or erecting a flagpole, let alone building a tool shed or larger structure. End quote. Lawrence, you can't put a bird feeder in your backyard in Tiny Township without permission?
There's a real rogue government in Tiny Township. They're feeling their oats. They like to push people around, and they were elected with no mandate to do any of this.
What is driving this, Lawrence? Why are they pushing people? I mean, I thought the whole idea of being a politician was to gain favor with the people, because ostensibly, job one of a politician is to get reelected. So what's going on here?
Well, they're not going to be reelected, and they were elected without mentioning any of the plans that they had for the public. They basically hoodwinked the public. What Ontario needs is a recall legislation to take care of situations like this, because the tax base here just cannot afford it. This is a township where people have relatively low incomes, yes, and yet their taxes are going up by something like 50% over 5 years.
Lawrence, is that the unspoken strategy? Because I figure if you went to the township and said, I want to put a bird feeder in my backyard, they're not going to say no. But I assume there might be a fee applied to that to process the paperwork?
Yes, they're saying we'll let you do anything reasonable. If you want a bird feeder, we'll let you, but you have to come to us for permission. We want to make sure that bird feeder is necessary, and of course there will be a fee for that. They just want to be in control. Okay. They don't have a democratic bone in their body.
It's fascinating. Now, in fairness, we did speak to the mayor during the press conference. I brought up your column. I brought up the bird feeder issue. Larry Solomon, who writes for the Financial Post, and he lives in Tiny Township, he wrote a column, I'm sure you're aware of it, back in April, and he was talking about how living here is like a return to serfdom. You have to get permission for everything, including putting a bird feeder in your backyard. What do you have to say to those who are criticizing the administration or the politicians in this township as being control freaks?
The legislation, the bylaws that we put in place are to preserve the quality of life and the characteristics that make Tiny unique, and that's what we're doing. We're, as far as Mr. Solomon's comments, though he's entitled to have his own comments, obviously I don't agree with them. Comparing us to pre-1917 Russia is obviously not valid, and it's, to me, it's just hyperbole and speculation. But no, whatever we do, like I said in my speech, is for financial responsibility, for maintaining the characteristics and the environment of this community, and providing long-term sustainability for our community.
But Mayor, getting permission to put up a bird feeder, I don't think they did that in pre-1700s Russia.
As I just mentioned in the hyperbole, that is totally incorrect.
And it is?
Yes, it's totally incorrect.
Okay,
yes.
Then. All right.
We are not controlling the installation of bird feeders in the township of Tiny.
What's your response?
Well, he should read his own legislation.
And we can find it there, can we?
Yes, the legislation is very clear about what you're able to do without permission. You're able to do some minor raking.
Okay.
You cannot put up any structure at all without their permission.
Amazing. Lawrence, as you know, the reason why we're here is to cover this demonstration. And the news peg, if you will, is that a lot of people are calling this new city facility a Taj Mahal. It is something that little Tiny Township can ill afford. There are other uses for that money, roads, infrastructure, social programs. And what we find incredible is that behind this fence, and there's Ontario Provincial Police keeping guard, the people that are funding this edifice are not allowed to be at the shovel ceremony. It's only politicians, only town employees, and members of the media, but the people footing the bill can't be there. Ostensibly, the mayor says it's for safety reasons.
They're being excluded because at the present time this is a working construction site. Hence, you have steel toe boots on and vests. And this is a milestone event. This process has already started, obviously. And this was an opportunity for us just to mark the progress and to give the public an update on what was going on.
Are you buying that?
This town council, it does everything behind closed doors. They're ashamed of what they're doing. It's all vanity projects for themselves. They want to be able to put something on their wall. It's not what the public wants at all. The public never realized that this was in store for them.
You know, Lawrence, we're seeing a disturbing trend in municipal Canadian politics. I guess they're taking their inspiration from the censorious Justin Trudeau years, where transparency, basic freedoms are being shut down. In the city of Pickering, as a journalist wanting to cover the council meetings, you have to get 2/3 of councillors to approve the journalist or the journalist organization. Needless to say, we've been frog marched out, I think, 3 times now. What is going on? These are supposed to be servants of the people.
Well, we live in an era where the managerial state is taking over. They don't see themselves as civil servants. They see us as their serfs. They're feeling the power and they like to exercise it.
And yet, I get the vibe from the people at that presser. Well, someone even said to us off camera, the majority of people in Tiny want this project. It's just the 1% Yahoo fringe that are against it.
You got 1% of the wackos making 99% of them.
How do you respond to that?
Well, that the opposition has been circulating petitions, and the petitions represent the great majority of the public in Tiny. So there is no silent majority that the council is referring to. That's why they're keeping everybody out of their facilities.
Well, I guess the people of Tiny Township next year, as in all Ontario municipalities, it'll be an election year. And I think from what you said earlier, you don't think they're going to get reelected. I guess time will tell come October of 2026. Tell me, if that is the case, can a new regime pull the plug on this project that apparently so many people are against?
Yes, the new regime can pull the plug, but there will be millions of dollars in penalties if they do it.
Wow.
If they let the building proceed, it's going to be a white elephant that will have no real need. There's a perfectly serviceable town hall right now.
Yes.
It's a consultant's report said that it's in very good shape. It needs very few changes. Instead of making those changes, which would cost under $200,000, there's a building. They want a building built that'll cost something like $50 million.
That's incredible. Well, you know what, Larry, as they say, time will tell. We'll see what happens in October. And in terms of, tell me, what is it like living in Tiny under this mayor and this council? Is it really as bad as you outlined in your April Financial Post column?
The people here certainly feel oppressed by the council.
Yeah.
They're not interested in any deputations. They shut people out of meetings. They do everything behind closed doors.
Unbelievable. And ostensibly we're living in a democracy. Well, there you have it, folks. In little Tiny Township, it's closed door rule, if Larry Solomon here is correct. And all I have to say, if you're an aficionado of birds, make sure you get permission to put that bird feeder up just in case you need a permit. Unbelievable. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, I know you love it when Rebel News brings you the other side of the story, but here's the deal. We need your help. Unlike the mainstream media trained SEALs, we don't get any of Mark Carney's journalism funding, nor would we accept it in the unlikely event that hell froze over and he offered it to us. But here's where you come in. Can you do me a favor? Can you go to rebelfieldreports.com? That's rebelfieldreports.com. And if you're able to, kindly make a donation.